Following that, complete change of pace. I watched the Billie Eilish "Hit Me Hard and Soft" tour in 3D, and I specifically watched this because this is technically a James Cameron film. This is the type of collaboration you don't really expect to see, and it was very funny with some parts where because James Cameron was holding the camera for some of the interview sections that they usually do in concert films, where they're asking questions and they are following a little bit of behind the scenes of how specifically the tour was put together. Although I actually hate that in my concert films. I came here to watch the concert film. I just want to see what the concert film is. I hate it when the creators get so self-absorbed. It's like, well, this is the vision, I control the set list, all of this was so carefully planned. I'm like, okay, well then just show me the thing you carefully planned, instead of telling how it is carefully planned. If you are so certain in the strength of your intent, of your artistic integrity, then it's gonna shine through the work, instead of you having to tell people that it is that way. And I will probably blame this more on James Cameron, who edited this in this way, because I thought the editing here is extremely irritating, because it does too many cutaways to the audience. And I know that concert films usually do that a little bit here and there, just to give it a little bit of a benefit of that. I suppose maybe it does comment to Billie Eilish trying to share the spotlight with some of her fans. A two-way street, because the artist cannot exist without the audience. Billie Eilish, the spotlight that is also shared with the audience members, but for me that read more like the result of an era where every audience member is almost like a character in their main character in their own life, because we now so many people use the camera in their pocket as a spotlight on themselves to broadcast to the world. And the film is almost like a reflection of that, because so many of the Billie Eilish fans are of course Gen Alpha, Gen Z, so it would be natural that they would be very heavy social media users, and the film very much in a sense reflects that in its edit, where so much time is spent showing the audience singing along, having big emotional moments. But what is different here is that it even takes the audio from those moments, whether the fans are singing along or having a big moment screaming. And to me that was very jarring, distracting. I hate that type of editing. I was not a big fan of that. And the 3D aspect of it, I do not get the 3D aspect too much. Doesn't work on me, unfortunately. So in this case, I don't have anything to highlight other than the editing, really. Just now that we've opened this kind of worms, I think it's fair to give some examples of concert films that I think are great. And by the way, of bands I wouldn't consider to be an actual fan of, but something like the Epic, something that came out recently, that's a great concert film, and it also works as a montage of and a deconstruction of what Elvis is as a persona, who he is. Then we have Stop Making Sense, which is the Talking Heads concert film, which is considered one of the best concert films of all time. I don't know what other ones are listed in that canon, but that is the one that A24 put on the marketing material, and maybe rightfully so, because it has some really cool visuals to it, and watching it in IMAX as well. It also great songs. The collection of songs there is phenomenal. Not the biggest Talking Hands fan, but those specific songs there are absolute bangers. Then the Rolling Stone live at the Max, I think it's called, was a phenomenal film, because it is the first concert film to be shot on IMAX film cameras, and watching it in IMAX, really you do get that sense of scale. What separates an IMAX film camera from most other cameras is just because of that large format, how big the depth of field is, and it gives Mick Jagger this grander than live presence because of how much he is in the foreground and how shallow the depth of field is. And to me that was very special, and you get that IMAX scale and that IMAX quality. Just, it's so crystal clear. The 70mm IMAX, I'm not talking the new certified IMAX cameras, whereas this is an actual IMAX 70mm. So those are some of the examples of concert films that I really heavily enjoyed. Or even the Depeche Mode, the Memento Mori tour, the film that they did recently. Oh, the audio mix on that was horrible, I have to be honest. But some of the visuals, I do like those big drone shots you get when you see the stadium, and or even like the Taylor Swift Eras Tour was good for what it is. I also watched the IU K-pop concert. That was just the usual sort of. There's nothing to highlight there. So those are. And also, none of these bands I'm like a particular fan of. I'll just straight up admit. But as far as concert film goes, I enjoyed them as concert films. I will always take an opportunity to enjoy a good concert film at the BFI IMAX, just to hear that audio system and its 100 channels or however many channels it has, just to see that be stretched up to the limit if the mix allows. In some cases the mix does not allow that, which is why I was very disappointed with the Depeche Mode. But this Billie Eilish film was specifically in Dolby Cinemas, which also are very much known for their surround systems. But I have nothing better to say here.